Hey folks, it's Tommy Z, and in this video, I want to talk about the 3 things that I wish I knew earlier as a freelance music producer. Today, I own my own music production company, which makes music for some of the biggest brands in the world, and I teach other musicians just like you who have a home studio, no matter where you are in the world, how to be commissioned and how to make money creating original songs, scores, and sounds for the world's biggest brands. Now, the 3 things that I want to tell you that you should heed and take to heart. The first mistake, it's not about the gear, it's about the goosebumps. Folks, I catch myself to this day, anytime I feel like I'm missing something, anytime maybe there's no projects happening, the mind tricks you into believing that the reason the projects aren't coming or the reason why you're not ready is because you don't have a particular piece of gear. Folks, it's astonishing how little you need in order to create music that sounds good and to be able to invoice for it. And to prove it to you, it's during those times when I don't have projects that my mind starts convincing me that I need this or that studio monitor or this or that synth or this or that plugin. When the reality is, when a project comes, I always default to the same few essential tools that I know will give me the music or the sound that I need and will allow me to do it within a very short deadline. The fact is, I cannot make use of all the things in my studio when I'm working under a 24-hour or a 48-hour deadline. No matter how much I would like to noodle with knobs and tweaking things on my hardware synths, the truth is, I usually do everything inside the box. Why? Because I can draw my automations. I can save my presets. I can have everything contained within my DAW with no external dependencies, complications. And this is what you need if you want to deliver music really fast. You need to keep things simple. You need to keep things saved. When it comes to making music for brands, don't complicate. Simplify. The default ones in your DAW are usually good enough. Digital audio has caught up to such an extent that as far as the needs of the advertising industry go and creating a song that is fully polished, you're able to solve it within your DAW. Folks, when I got started, the desire to make music into my career and to break through into this industry that I now teach other musicians how to break into, the desire was so high that the level of perfectionism went up. And when the level of perfectionism went up, the level of fear also went up. The perfectionism completely scrambled my brain and my perspective. And I see this all the time with our students. Folks, I spent thousands of dollars on a designer to create my business cards and logo. Tens of thousands of dollars with my partner at the time to rent a studio, very fancy design, crazy stuff. All of it could have been avoided because all I needed to do is put a reel together, put a simple website together, send a few emails to the right people, get a few meetings going, and then the projects started coming. And when the projects started coming, I didn't have time to worry about the wall of the hardware synths. I just needed to get inside of my laptop and provide a solution. Really, what it's all about is if I told you, by tomorrow, I need you to create me a piece of music like this and like that. It has to have ABC. $5,000. You have 24 hours to create this music. Do you think you're going to be worried about your cabling, about the specifications of your synthesizer, about the calibration of your speakers? No, you're going to open up your laptop, plug your headphones in, import the picture, the rough edit into your DAW, and you're going to start sketching. I mean, this is what I love about this business. I want you to stop babying yourself like this and just become a rough and ready, pragmatic craftsperson. The difference between a craftsperson and an artist is a craftsperson works for cash money, works under a deadline, and they use as few tools as possible. They don't complicate their work any more than they need to. We've put in tens of thousands of hours into this, and we know how to create something remarkable with a few tools. The second mistake that I made early on in my career is that I didn't have a crystal clear vision of the destination. People are not buying music anymore because they don't need to. They can stream it. So why are you still forcing people to pay 99 cents for your single? Nobody cares. Music is flowing freely like water. It's like air. It's all around us. It's not special anymore. It's a commodity. The only place where creative craftspeople are flocking now in order to get paid for their talent, for their skill. Brands have the budgets, brands have billions, they have a need to create compelling content that's gonna keep them in people's minds and in their hearts. They don't have the creativity. They have to reach out to folks like you and me to create a real song that will move real people out there. They know this. So they set aside budget for their creative campaigns, their commercials, and their content. Many of you have day jobs. Many of you have families. I did the day job. I did what I had to do. By the time I got to the studio, I only had about an hour of energy left because I was already tired and uninspired after working on somebody else's dream all day. So when you have only an hour, it may seem like it's not a lot of time, but it's a lot of time. But only if you focus your energies in a deliberate direction. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know where to start. What should I do? Should I remix a song right now and then send it to a label? No, you know what? I'm gonna put out an EP. No, you know what? Nobody cares about EPs because like a million of them come out every day. You don't have a deliberate destination. You have nothing specific to type into your GPS. How do you know what step to take first, what step to take second? And how will all these steps compound into actual progress? If you truly want to make a living with music, you need to be brutally honest about your chances of making a living with music. Go to the brands because they have the money and they have the need for custom created content. Do you think Nike can afford to show up with the same song that Reebok published in their campaign? So brands that want to be culturally relevant, they understand that they need to custom create things from scratch. Number 3 thing I wish I learned earlier is don't sell. Focus on the people and the projects will come by themselves. You cannot rush the growth of a magnificent garden. It may take you years to develop your craft, but your success will be overnight like this because most of you rush connecting with the business, sending out emails, and you neglect the most important part, which is like, have you cultivated your magic? Have you cultivated the very reason why people would get back to you? Have you cultivated that special signature sauce, that deep understanding of what it means to craft an original song, score, or sound? You don't even know when something turns from a mundane moment into a magical moment. You have not developed your instinct yet. This comes from many seasons in the studio. So how could you confidently approach an industry insider who might be able to offer you a job if you have not cultivated this instinct yet? Forget writing emails right now. Spend the next 3 months writing to a 30-second commercial every single day. At the end of the 90 days, you will have 90 commercials. I cannot see how you could have any kind of creative instinct as a freelance composer unless you have had the discipline and the focus and the tenacity to score 90 commercials when nobody tells you to score them, and to actually be able to finish them, and to be able to see where you are lacking, and to be able to see how, like, what steps do you need to take specifically to get better. All of those things can only reveal themselves if you're actually busy in the studio, putting in hundreds, thousands of hours, actually trying to bake the cake. Don't be worried about the fact that there are other people emailing, that other people are running out there trying to sell themselves. You will develop your own recipe, and then when you decide to come out, you're gonna come out, and you're the one who people are gonna pay attention to because you took the time to develop your own remarkable recipe. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if it was, maybe try this one next.